Hey everybody, we are back from our travels. We were gone 2.5 weeks out of the country doing some Caribbean travel, lots of fun with friends and family. And when we were leaving, right before we left, the Waterfly folks that we did the little sling bag with said, hey, do you want to try out this TransformerX 6.0 Ultralight Packable Backpack? And I was like, you know, it would be really great if we had something that we could pack that was a little bit bigger than that sling bag, just so that we could use this for bigger excursions that we were going to be doing on this trip, because there was going to be more of us. We were going to need room for snacks. We were going to need room for equipment. And we were doing lots of water sports. And so we would have towels and things like that that we needed to carry around. So that brought us to this bag. And this is the Waterfly TransformerX 6.0 Ultralight. It comes in a ton of colors. And of course, purple for Kathy matches her hair. Actually, you know, she loves purple, and with a purple bag, she'll actually carry that, and I don't have to carry it everywhere. Actually, on this trip, this bag was carried around by several different people. It was tested out by myself, by Kathy. It was tested out by our friend Wayne, and it did great for everybody. I wanted everybody to use it, to put their hands in it, to figure out what they could use it for and the comfort level and things like that. And everybody gave it a great thumbs up. And it is a great bag, and it has lots of pockets, and it is packable like the other one. And I'll show you that in just a second. But what I have right now in this bag is typically the last thing that we used it for actually was a snorkeling trip. So I'll kind of give you an idea of the size of this thing. I know when you look at something online, you don't ever really get an idea of the true size of it, right? But I can kind of give you an idea of what we have in here just for some scale, because it holds quite a bit. This is not packed to death, so it's not, you know, pushing the seams or anything like that. But there were a few times on this trip, like when we were coming home, that we had this thing chocked full, and I mean it held up really well. None of the seams are stressed or anything, and we had it packed, I mean just as full as it could possibly get. So in this bag right now we have all of our excursion-y snorkeling stuff. Now we didn't take our flippers with us because most of the time you can get flippers from wherever you're snorkeling at, and they're just kind of hard to travel with. So we have both of our snorkel masks are in here in their cases, and we have our snorkels, our actual snorkels tubes in there, right? So that's this stuff. So I mean, and none of the stuff is extremely heavy, but even when this was heavy, it was very comfortable to carry. And we also have our action camera that we use for getting pictures underwater, and a little extra tripod for it. And then we have the case that I put that in just to give it some extra protection. All sorts of stuff in here. Then I have the actual handle that I attach to it when I am floating around so that I don't lose it, right? Let's see, I'll go over on this side with this one. So in one of the tests, it was raining pretty hard, and we got in a little bit of a downpour, and I made the mistake of setting this down on the ground that was really wet. I think I set it kind of too close to a puddly area, and so it soaked up all that water in the bottom. That was completely my fault. When Wayne was wearing this on his back and it started raining, it wasn't a downpour. It did fine. It didn't get anything really wet or anything like that in it. And just to be on the safe side, I carry a dry bag just so that I can put phones and wallets and things like that in the dry bag and toss it in here. Anything that I don't want to accidentally get wet because we're doing water sports, I put in a dry bag and I toss inside of here. And it works really well because it's much easier to carry this than it is to try to carry a bunch of these little dry bags around. And then we also had some towels with us. Now we use these packable towels. Usually we have 2 of them with us. One of them is currently in the wash, but there were 2 in here at one point. And the other thing that we took with us, just because, you know, you're out, you're adventuring, then you get done with your water sports and you're wandering back to your ship or your hotel, and then you're like, maybe I want to stop at a few stores or something. You don't want to dig in here and dig everything out to get your wallet and stuff. So we took our handy dandy trusty little sling bag with us as well and tucked it in here too. And so that is a lot of stuff in a bag, and this bag can hold a lot of stuff. And this is the pocket here, and this is the pocket that when we pack this up, everything is going to go in this pocket. It has water bottle pockets, which actually are slightly bigger than the ones on the sling bag, and we were able to get some pretty big water bottles in here. That was absolutely great to have with us. You've also got a front pocket up here that you can toss in your wallet, things like that you need to get to really fast. It does kind of have this lip that goes over it and hides that zipper, which also helps with that being a little water resistant. So if it's raining, the water is going to kind of drip off there and it's not going to go through the seams of your zipper there. So the straps are nice. They're nice and wide. That makes for a nice comfortable carry. They're very adjustable. Love how adjustable they are. I also love the fact that it has a breast strap. When you're walking, you don't have to worry about your strap sliding off your shoulders because it has that. And the other cool thing this one has is it has a little safety whistle as well. So if you needed to get somebody's attention, you could do that. It's right on your breastbone. You just lean down and go to town. And like I said, this is very adjustable. It works for all size peoples. The underside of these straps are like a nylon mesh, which also kind of helps keep your shoulders and stuff cooler. It doesn't really get the same kind of hot as if it was just like solid like this. And it also has a little hole here. So if you had headphones, you could have your headphones in the bag and then, you know, bring out your cord and put it in. But nowadays, nobody really uses headphones, right? So what we use these for when we have them is we put a battery pack into the backpack and put our USB-C cord through there and actually can charge a phone or whatever with that battery pack without having to take it out. So that works really nice for us, and we really enjoy that. Let's take a look at the inside of the bag. As you can see, it's got some organization to it. We've got a back pocket here. This is where we usually put our towels. And then you've got 2 dividers, mesh dividers here. These mesh dividers are where I usually slide in things like my little action cam right here, so I know where it is and it's easy for me to get to. And also things like the little thing that goes over the top of it, so those fit in there nice. So you can see how those would fit in there, how that mesh, you would use that. And there's another pocket back here. This is the pocket that we usually put our little packable towels in. So as you can see, this is a pretty big space. It can hold a lot, and it had sand in it, it had everything in it, and all of that. It cleans up really well. I spilled some stuff on it at one point on the front, and I just was able to wipe it off with a towel and some wet water. It holds up amazingly. Like I said, there were times on this trip where we actually had it so full that it was hard to zip, and it did fine, and it's holding up well. It's been tossed around, it's been thrown in buses and vans and on the plane, and I mean it has kind of gone through the ringer. It's been in Honduras, it's been in Cozumel, it's been all over the Caribbean, and it is doing fantastic. I have a lot of these bags, you know, and over time what happens is some of them that I've gotten before, the first trip I use them on, the zipper busts out, or I start getting a war spot on something, or tossing it around a few times and the bottom of it starts to get kind of a war spot, or the tears around in here. And you see, you don't have any of that with this bag. And I'm also just amazed at how easy it is to clean this bag up, because I'm going to tell you, this bag was set in sand and dirt. I mean, everywhere. There's one little spot of dirt right there. That's the only spot I couldn't get out, is right there. And that looks like some grease or something got on it, probably in one of the boats that we were on. Because we were on a rib boat, which was amazing, and this kind of got shoved down in the bottom of some things. So I think that's probably where that happened at. But back to it. That's the inside. You can get a better look at how far these pockets go down. Like I said, they go down pretty much all the way to the bottom. There's, I don't know, what would you call that? About a quarter of it that's up at the top. That's not net. And then in the back, this goes all the way down to the bottom. And then this one goes all the way down to the bottom. Now this one is smaller than this one. So that is why we use this one for our towels and stuff. This one back here is smaller. It doesn't have the same kind of width as this one has, and that is why we use that one for things like handles and extra bags and things like that. But yeah, this is, I mean, we put the masks in some of our bags, and then that we don't have room for anything else. But with this one, we still have tons of room around there, and like we can get these guys in and everything. So very happy with this. I think it works really well. I especially love that it's packable, because it's so much easier for me to take these packable bags along on the trip with us. So along with this sling bag that we showed you earlier, this bag, the two together really complement each other, and I really like it. So let me go ahead and show you how this thing folds up. So like the others, this one is going to go into this pocket. So what I usually do, oh, and one other thing I didn't show you, and I'll show you once I zip this up. So when I zip this up, there's also, when you have a lot of stuff in here and it gets kind of awkward, there's also these straps that you can kind of tighten around. If you had a tall bottle, these straps could hold the tall bottle in. And also what I use them for is if I've got a lot of stuff in there, then I use this to kind of tighten it up this way, so I don't have as much flopping around, and it feels like it sits on your back a little bit better that way. So yeah, so that's what we use those for. And there's two of them, one on each side, and it's a really nice little bag. We're going to try to get this back into its pocket, and you know I love the will it fit in its pocket. So let's see if we can make it fit in its pocket. I already know it's going to fit in its pocket because I've done it a bazillion times. So I just kind of roll it until I get it up to this spot, and then I peel these over the top, much like we did with the smaller bag. And then I have this shape, almost kind of larger taco. We'll call this burrito shape. And then I'm going to pull this around this way. Make sure I got everything tucked in there nice. And then just going to zip it. Give it a little zip. Kind of move it around a little bit so we can make it flat in the bag. It's pretty easy to do, and I can get it pretty flat. And that's super flat, super lightweight, and I can pack this up, and between this bag and this bag, we've got everything we need for excursions and running around and doing things off of the ship or away from our hotel room or whatever we need to do. Waterfly TransformerX 6 Packable Ultralight Backpack. It's really good. I like it. Does the job. We've used it very, very much on this past trip, and it has held up magnificently. And everyone that used it during the trip agreed that it is a nice little bag and it's perfect for excursions. So if you're interested, check out the link below and pick up one for yourself.